So I recently watched Angel Beats for the first time ever. Now this is an anime that I've been putting off for years, and I finally watched it. The main reason why I didn't watch it is because there was always other anime that I wanted to watch, but then I finally said, you know what, let me just watch this one, and I watched it. And this is one I've heard about for years that it's really good. And one of the things I've heard people say about it a lot is that it's sad. But to me, this was not really that sad of an anime. Yes, there's aspects in here that are sad, but at the same time, it's not really as sad as the way people make it out. Because at the root of this whole story is you have all these kids that are in this purgatory type state of place, and like they're stuck in this place before they pass on to go to heaven, where by the end of the anime we get to see them move on and actually go and pass on. And it's like that's something that needed to happen. Yes, there are a few sad moments. Yes, when it comes to the main character, his backstory is sad, and early on when we get that backstory about that one girl who's the first one to pass on, that's sad. And also like the final episode when we see them graduate, and then we see how the one angel girl, we find out that his heart was used basically to save her when she was still alive. Yes, that has some little sad aspects to it, but at the end of the day, we still need to see all that because it was actually just a really good anime, just showing you like that people need to pass on and move on, because they all were stuck in that school for whoever knows how long, just fighting the angel, when it was like they needed to all just pass on, that they can move on in life and get reincarnated, as we saw at the end of the anime. But yeah, I really enjoy this because in my opinion this is one of the best like purgatory type of like anime we have. Because like, yeah, you have something kind of like, I guess you'll say Death Parade, which is another good one where they're kind of in a purgatory type of state within that one. But this one I really like it just because like it really shows that all these characters here have these type of regrets that are keeping them in this school, or have some type of like trauma from their past life, because at the end of the day they all are still here because they all have something they did not agree with their life, and they thought that God did them dirty when it comes to their past life that they lived. But at the same time, they just need to accept it, and we saw towards the end of the anime they start accepting it, and they finally do move on, because the one main guy, he wants to do that with the angel to let everybody move on, because everybody's just been here just chilling here when it's like they didn't need to stay here for as long as they've been. So one of the things I really enjoy about this anime is the first like minute of this anime lets you know that this is not your normal anime, mainly because the main guy, he wakes up and next thing you know he sees this girl that's there, and she's pointing a sniper at some random girl that's down there, and she's talking about, oh, she's like a bad person, all the person that's down there or whatever. And the guy, he's thinking this nonsense because like she's pointing a gun. So like he goes down and talks to the angel, and he's like, yo, are you an angel? She's like, no, and she stabs him, and it just lets you know like, damn, well, I was not expecting this to go that way. But then it gets even more realer as we learn more stuff about it, especially the main guy, how his backstory, the way it was like how he really had nothing going for his life besides like taking care of his little sister. But then when his little sister passed away, he realized that was his purpose in life, and then he realized he wanted to go to school and actually help people. And then we get that sad moment of where that train crashes, and then he's the only one there just helping everybody, trying to get everybody through this. And then we see as they finally about to get rescued, he's the only one that passes away while everybody else there survives. And everybody was like writing their name on the back of like, I think their ID, that there'd be donors. And it was that part was kind of sad. It was just like, damn. I was like, his whole backstory is just kind of sad, because it's like, damn, just when you're about to get rescued, you pass away. But then he wakes up in this world, and he kind of realizes his purpose in this world, that he needs to help them, and he helps everybody move on. The one critique I would probably have about this anime is that it should have been longer, because I do think that we should have saw more backstories on all the characters, because realistically we only saw like 1 or 2 or 3, and we should have saw like way more, especially because towards the end we had all the characters just disappear like that, when we should have got more backstories for all of them. Yes, there were like a few that were interesting. Like, yeah, we saw the one with the one guy with baseball, that he has some regret with baseball. And then we saw the other one with the one girl, how she basically was always sick, and she always stayed in the bed, mainly because like her legs were like messed up or something like that. Or I should say she was paralyzed, I think. That's why I'm pretty sure she was paralyzed. That's what they gave off. Or she was just always sick, the girl with the pink hair. And we saw that like even with the one guy, he fell in love with her, and he was talking about like the life they could have had if they ever met before. So yeah, I mean, yeah, we did get some backstories like that, but I feel like there's still a few more characters we should have got more backstories on, and maybe that could have like spread out the story. And the final villain that we had, he was kind of trash, because he was just there. He was literally just a catalyst, just to basically push them to finally like move on to the past, to their next life. Because like he kind of wasn't needed. That was one of the things I saw, that he kind of wasn't needed. That shadow shit kind of wasn't needed, because the main guy and the angel, they were slowly but surely trying to work up a plan, like to actually let people move on. Like they were slowly doing that, but it's just like the shadows just sped it up. So I don't know. I just feel like the shadows was kind of just something that was put in to the story just to like compress this to 13 episodes, because this story felt like it should have been 24. And maybe as it was going on, we saw more characters' backstories and had them pass on. Like I feel like that would have been like a little bit better. That's the only thing. That's the only critique I really had about this anime, is that it should have been longer and we should have saw more backstories of all the characters, because I feel like we needed that for this, especially for what the story was telling so far. Because yeah, you have the moment where it's like it's getting funny. We had a lot of funny moments, but then we also had a lot of sad moments, and I just wish we got to see more of each character's backstory and like learned like how long they've been here, why they still don't want to move on and stuff like that. I feel like would have been more in depth, especially the main cast that we saw were part of like their whole like club thing. Because by the end of the anime, there's only 4 of them left, and like everybody else just passes on, and it's just like, and it was like nothing. I'm like, we're not gonna see anything about them. I was like, they are actually important to the story, and we don't see nothing about them, and like we don't even get to see their last moments, like when they pass on like all the other people. That's the one thing I just felt like that was kind of just like, damn, why do you have to do us like that? But at the same time, it's like, I understand it because they only had the anime be 13 episodes, but it should have been like a 24 episode anime in my opinion. That's the one thing that usually sucks sometimes about short anime, is like you'll watch it, especially if it only has 1 season and like it doesn't really seem like there's any other more source material for it or whatever. Pretty sure this is anime original, but I think there also is a game, a visual novel too, so I'm not sure exactly. I forgot. I know it's either anime original or it's visual novel. I'm leaning towards the more visual novel because I haven't really looked that much up about Angel Beats. I just know it was either anime original or just based off a visual novel, so I'm not sure exactly. Y'all can let me know in the comments if y'all know stuff about it. But yeah, I do wish I kind of watched this earlier. This is one I should have been watching, especially because this came out when, like early 2010s or whatever. So this is one that I should have been watching, but I basically pushed this off for years. I pushed this off for like basically more than a decade, when I should have watched this, because this is one that I should have been watching growing up, but I mean, I just didn't, because there's a lot of anime that I just didn't watch for certain reason. This one just happened to fall into the line. But yeah, I really like this anime a lot. I like the aspect of having Purgatory basically be this high school, and like you have these people here, and they're basically trying to have like a really good high school experience, because like they're basically sent there to basically relive their youth and actually have a really good youth, since they weren't able to experience that in like their past life, because their past life had some type of hardship that stopped them from actually experiencing and having a really good youth and having a really good childhood, and even like I could say high school growing up type of thing, and like didn't get to experience. So they're supposed to technically experience this in the school, and I mean they do experience it, but at the same time they do fight the angels. So yes, they have guns and stuff, so they fight the angels, so there's still that, but at the same time they really are enjoying life each day, and that's really shown until they finally like realize like their regrets and everything, and come to terms with their past life, that they can pass on and realize it wasn't as bad as they thought it was, even though they got here. So yeah, I just really like it, because I just like the purgatory aspect, and just like how they're trying realizing like what actually happened to them, and then they move on. But yeah, I can still understand like why people think it's sad, because like the ending is kind of sad, but I mean to me it was not really that sad. I just thought it was just like, wow, this is like really good, because it just felt like I got to finally see these characters that had just been here for so long just move on. And then I wish we could have saw every other character being reincarnated, but we saw the main 2, and they finally did meet each other again at the end. It was like that close little scene that we just like, oh yeah, they just got reincarnated and they're actually going to meet again, because the main guy was in love with the angel, and then he finally got to see her again. So I mean, it was sweet. I do wish that his sister Loki was in that world. That would have been amazing, that he could have saw his sister. Like if his sister would have been there the whole time, that would have been amazing. That's one thing that I wish could have happened though. But yeah, if you've seen Angel Beats, let me know how you feel about it. If you've not watched it like me, who took forever to watch it, you need to go watch it. It's a really good anime in my opinion. It's really dope. I wanted to buy it on Blu-ray, but then I saw that boy is expensive, because it came out on Sentai years ago, and now that boy is expensive. So I was like, you know what? I don't need it on Blu-ray, because I'm not paying this price for this anime. Maybe if Sentai ever puts it out again on Blu-ray, maybe I'll buy it though. But yeah, I saw it was way too much though. But yeah, if you're new, why not subscribe, enjoy the video? Why not like? If you didn't, you could dislike, subscribe, you really enjoyed. But yeah, Angel Beats a really dope anime. I like the aspect of it with Purgatory and all that, like I've been saying, and I just like all the characters, and I like the story that it's telling. I do feel like the main final villain with the shadows was kind of like pointless, didn't really need to be there, but at the same time it was a person that was pushing the agenda, since the angel, she kind of came and was on the main character's side, and she really wasn't like doing the like follow the rules shit that she was doing early on. So I guess that's why that main guy was put there, just to like push the story that they can get all the characters out of here. And I mean eventually does get the characters to finally pass on and move on to their next life. I will say one thing that had me rolling was then the black shadows would basically touch them, they would turn turn into NPCs, and I don't know why that shit was hilarious, because I was like, no, they're not getting turned into regular just NPCs, and it was kind of funny. But yeah, that was the one thing that was probably interesting about the Black Shadows, is that it turned them into like the regular random NPCs that are there, because all the regular people at that school were all just NPCs and not real people and didn't have souls. They were just there. So that was another thing there, that they're just surrounded by a whole bunch of people that are just lifeless bodies there that are just like fitting in for the school, while actually they all have souls and stuff, and they have their memories. So that was another thing that was very interesting about Angel Beats that I enjoyed, is just like how they had that aspect of how they're basically just showing like, yo, this is going to be like a real high school for y'all to actually enjoy. And that's why they were able to basically do whatever they wanted, and like they didn't really care about the teachers, anybody else, because they knew that they're not real, and they're the only ones here that actually have their memories and have their actual souls, and they're kind of like quote unquote physically there, but like I guess you say physically mentally there, because their souls are in their body, so they remember stuff. But yeah, Angel Beats was a really fantastic anime that I probably should have watched way earlier, but hey, at least I finally watched it, and it was really enjoyable though. But thanks for watching. I'll see you next video though. Bye.